This full plant is known as Plectranthus verticillatus, and verticillatus actually just means that it's whorled, and whorled, W-H-O-R-L-E-D, and that means that it just is, the leaves or something is actually growing around in a circle, which you could actually see here. Now, this is commonly known as Swedish ivy, although it is not an ivy, and one of the ways that you could actually tell that, it's actually in the mint family, and one of the ways that you could actually tell that is, I don't know if you'll be able to see from the camera, but it has a square stem, and the mint family is commonly has the square stem. So if you feel closely to the stem, you'll see that it actually has edges, and this one in particular has these nice little purple fuzzy stems as well. Somebody actually sent me a photo of this plant in direct message over Instagram, and they said, do you know what this plant is? And it was actually bright red, and I had never seen a Swedish ivy like that before, but I asked them if I could see a close-up of the flowers, which actually had been in flower, and the stem, and asked whether it was a square stem to know whether it was a Plectranthus. But when you're giving it a little bit more higher light condition, supposedly the leaves start to redden up, which I actually don't give this plant a higher light condition. I had it as a hanging basket plant, but it just got too large and too heavy that I didn't want it. I need like a better banister in order to be able to hang it from, so I didn't want to have any kind of casualties standing under the planter. So now I'm looking for a better place to put this within my home, and right now it's sitting on top of my refrigerator, although I don't think that's the most adequate place for this. You will want to give it a little bit more kind of bright indirect light to moderate light in order to be able to keep this kind of fullness of foliage. And it will start to look a little leggy, but if anything, Plectranthus, and I know this is not the first one that I've showcased on 365 Days of Plants, it is one that really takes well to cutting back. So if you actually even want to propagate this plant, you'll see that if I could point out to this stem, you'll see all these new little leaves kind of growing up along this stem right here. You can actually just cut right back to that, and it'll start to kind of bush out and branch out. And that tip cutting that you take, you could actually use that to propagate this. You could also use seed as well. This really grows well by seed. I haven't actually grown it well by seed, but I know growers who have. Because this is a very common plant, you'll be able to find it. Some people like to grow it in hanging baskets outside, but it's a total plant that's amenable to as in a house plant or indoor environment. Now, I didn't say where these are native to, but you could find them throughout like South Africa and Mozambique. Now, I traveled extensively to South Africa and Mozambique back in the day, but I've never seen this plant in the wild. But like I said, it's so big in cultivation right now, so you could easily find it and grow it in your home. I should also say that along with a lot of other Plectranthus, this does have a little bit of a smell. It's not, I wouldn't say it's like the most pleasant smell, but some of the other Plectranthus that I may have covered on my blog before have a little bit more of a menthol-y type smell. I mean, it is in the mint family, so a lot of mints have a smell. But this one, it's not a bad smell, but it's also, it smells a little bit medicated. Maybe it has a little bit of that minty smell too, but to me it smells a little bit more medicated. And as you can see, this is in full bloom right now. The blooms, the inflorescence, they're not amazing, but it's actually quite nice. It looks like a little frilly snow on top. But yeah, so this is a Swedish ivy, Plectranthus verticillatus, and it's a lovely plant to grow if you want something that is fully bushing out.